All right, hi everybody. My name's Caleb. This is Tanner Beckstrand. We are BayWatch Technologies, and we are not what you think. So just give me a second here. So we got started when my car broke down, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here who doesn't exactly leap for joy when you see that check engine light come on. Am I right? I'm one of those people who gets talked into car repairs that I'm not sure I need. Or I suspect that I don't. I just typically don't understand them, and so this got me thinking, I can't be the only one of those people. And so Tanner and I kind of had an idea of how can we solve a problem like that? How can we fix that communication gap? And so we went to our lead canvas.
Yeah, so from our own experience, we determined that we had a pretty good idea of what the problem was and potential solutions that we could come up with. But we knew we had to talk more with our target customers. So we interviewed 20 car owners, and we felt like we had a better grasp on a potential solution, but we know we had to go bigger. So from those 20 interviewed, we decided to interview 700 more throughout the country, to survey 700 more throughout the country. And so from that survey, we learned that 70% of people felt the same way we did about car repair. They felt that it wasn't very transparent, the communication wasn't great when they needed repair, and that this led to a giant lack of trust within the industry. So also in those interviews and surveys, we also suggested a solution to have a third-party, unbiased mechanic diagnose the vehicles prior to the vehicle going into the mechanic shop to be repaired. 68% of those people said they would pay $50 or more for this third-party, unbiased mechanic diagnosis.
So at this point, we're feeling pretty good. We feel like we have a good grasp and have validated the problem. We're still a little hazy on the solution, and we knew we immediately needed to look at our revenue streams and see if it made financial sense. And so we reasoned and hypothesized that our business model would be providing these third-party mechanics as a service. So our mechanics would come to the consumer, they would diagnose the vehicle. Those vehicle diagnoses would be uploaded to a web platform where local auto shops could then bid on the work. Then as a consumer, they would have the power of choice in where to go with all of the relevant information beforehand. Consumers love this idea, but obviously this relied heavily on the cooperation of mechanics. And so we knew that was the next market or the next thing we needed to test. So we interviewed 15 independent mechanics, and we were shocked when 14 of the 15 mechanics said they would not work on a vehicle they didn't diagnose themselves. The final nail in the coffin was when 15 of the 15 said they wouldn't even pay us for any work we brought them. We knew that although we had validated the problem, we did not validate the solution or the revenue stream, so it was time to go back and pivot.
So we needed to find a new customer segment. So it was a slightly different one. We focused on new car dealerships. Now from our research, these new car dealerships do 13 times the amount of yearly revenue as these individual mechanic shops. And they also have a designated service manager whose sole responsibility is to make sure that this department is as profitable as possible. We felt that this would be a good customer to build the solution for. And so from there, we began to interview more shops. We went to 10 different dealerships with a new idea. This idea was a communication software that would allow mechanics to more easily communicate with their customers throughout the repair, thus adding transparency and hopefully trust back into the experience.
Of course, so we kind of had an idea of a solution, but it was really important that we made sure that we had a unique value proposition and unfair advantage. Because when we did these interviews with the dealerships and also with customers with this new idea, we got really encouraging and positive feedback. But upon deeper research, we found that there were already established competitors in the industry working on the same problem with very similar solutions. That's obviously raising huge red flags to our unique value proposition and unfair advantage portions of our canvas. We realized that unless we were willing to put a lot of time and financial capital into this problem, it was going to be really difficult to compete. We knew that we needed to, excuse me, sorry about this. We knew that these were not validated and that we just needed to go right back to the drawing board. One thing you'll learn about Tanner and I is that we're opportunists. And like the great Oprah Winfrey says, luck is just preparation meeting opportunity.
So we went back to 10 dealerships, we spent 2 weeks there, and we realized that customers would constantly, when they'd come in to pick up their already serviced vehicle, they would sometimes claim to the dealership that the dealership damaged their vehicle. This could be a small scratch or a small dent. Now, upon further research, we realized that this would occur on average 4 times a month for dealerships, costing $2,000 a month to repair these claims. And so from there, we determined that we needed to do further interviews. We went, picked up the phone, called 44 other dealerships throughout the country, so for a total of 54 total dealerships, and we found out that 81% of dealerships said, yes, we have this problem. We need a solution. So from there, during these interviews, we determined there was 3 unique value propositions that we needed. Number 1 is that our system had to be automated. It cannot change anything that they did. Number 2 is that it had to be really detailed. The current solutions out there could not pick up on the small dents and scratches that were making up a large portion of these claims. And number 3, it could not mess with our workflow. It had to be seamless.
And so we're feeling really good about our new problem, completely different from anything else that we had been working on, but it was validated. And we knew what unique value propositions we had to offer in order to be adopted. So it was time to think about what our solution was going to be. We hypothesized that we could build a camera system that would be automated. We would be placed right at the opening of where the customers drive their vehicle in to drop off their vehicle to be serviced. It would automatically document the entire exterior of the vehicle. And then we would have a company cloud software where you could retrieve and review the footage that's relevant. So we needed to know, could we make this and could we do so affordably? We were actually able in 8 weeks to prototype and install our first prototype at a dealership as a paid pilot. It cost us only $1,500 to do so. Here's a picture of some of the installs we've done. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Tanner here to walk through our product.
So as you can see here, a vehicle drives through. We have multiple different angles, 6 angles. We're scanning the car, 360 scan, high definition for these scratches and these dents. So all this footage is then uploaded to the cloud, wherein if the employee needs to review a claim from a customer, they click on the needed angle, they can slow down the footage, they can zoom in and find the specific area that the customer is claiming. As you can see right there, oh, we got it. It was already there beforehand. So this way the dealership doesn't have to cough up that money to pay that customer.
So at this point, we're feeling really good. Not only do we have a problem, we have a solution, we know what value propositions we need to have. It's time to talk cost structure and revenue streams. From our 54 dealership interviews we did, we had been collecting willingness to pay data. And so we hypothesized that we could charge between $400 and $600 a month on our recurring revenue model, as well as a one-time upfront $800 per lane install fee, which actually covers our cost of the equipment. We also realized that the best way to test this hypothesis was going to be simply going out and trying to sell the product. Within 2 weeks, we were able to sign up 7 customers and generate $33,000 in annual revenue. And so now we have the cost structure and the revenue streams validated, feeling really, really good. But we had also hypothesized that it wasn't just auto dealerships who could use our solution. We also thought that car washes, collision, rental car places, valet operations, they all deal with these fraud claims. And so we went and we interviewed them and we tried to sell them. It was really exciting because we were actually able to do that successfully. Additionally, most of these businesses are made up of large franchise chains and groups where if you make one corporate sale, you're able to roll out to tens or even hundreds of locations at once, which is a great channel advantage. Right here you can see this is what our total addressable market looks like.
Our unfair advantage is we have a lot of connections in the current market with these groups, and also we have custom camera things that we're working on right now on IP protection.
So really quick, I'm just going to jump into our traction. So we have over $1,500 in recurring revenue just from our 3 prototype customers. We have 21 signed deals waiting to get installed with our version 2 that we're going to be able to scale with. We've recorded over 80,000 vehicles so far, and we're really excited. We're talking to insurance companies right now about the applications for that data. And just last week, we had Enterprise Rental Car fly their VP of Claims out to meet with us. Went really well. We're actually demoing with them this summer, potentially rolling out to 200 of their busiest locations, which would be a $5 to $10 million account for us.
All right, and that is time.
I guess I'm first this time. Hey, great job on your value proposition. It was super specific, really awesome. I have a little bit of concern about the car shop's customer segment. It feels really big. Can you tell me about the perfect car shop?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a really good question. Not every dealership obviously can use our system. What we found is it's based a lot on their average daily car count, the number of vehicles they're seeing. And there is a bit of a correlation with, not a strong correlation, but a bit of a correlation with the make of the dealership as well. And so right now we focus a lot on Hyundai, Chevy, and Dodge dealerships. For whatever reason, those are people that claim the most, and so we've had a lot of success there.
But if they have a lot of volume, it usually always makes sense. It's hard to sell people out in the movies. They don't have that volume.
And is just a manual inspection ever come up as a viable alternative?
Yeah, so that's honestly, that's what dealerships and some of these businesses try to do. But what ends up happening is you have an imperfect human doing the walk around, so they don't always catch everything. But a lot of the time it just doesn't get done because they get busy and it's the first thing to be forgotten. So that's why our kind of customer segments are really excited about this, because it's a fail-safe, right? It's always going to do its job.
And then just one more at the end, you started talking about enterprise. So that's different from a car shop. Where do you think is the bigger opportunity to the car shops?
So honestly, enterprise and the car rental market is huge. The idea is you would pick up your vehicle, and instead of walking around with that manager, you would just drive it off the lot through our system and drive it back. So the applications there are huge. We focused on the dealership market because we have a lot of connections there, but we don't see that as being our biggest market.
The car wash is really interesting. I'm probably one of the few people in the world that's been in an accident inside a car wash, which is another story we'll share in a bit. But video would have come in handy, probably did. I had some questions around privacy concerns and how you store the data. Has that come up at all?
Yeah, so because we're not recording audio, it's actually legal for us to record on the business's premises. It's only when you are recording audio when you need consent. And so because of that, we haven't ran into any privacy issues. There's no laws or any backlash like that. Our customers that are using the system, usually customers notice it on the way in. The first time they see it, they ask about it, and we haven't ran into any issues so far. So legally, we know we're fine. And so far, we haven't had any consumer backlash.
And the second part of that question, how are you storing all that video?
Yeah, so we're stored up in Amazon in the S3 bucket on the cloud. So it's called cloud storage. It's actually really, really cheap for us. Not getting into specifics, but our margins are 90% plus on the monthly recurring revenue.
Based on what you shared in the presentation, it felt like you made this jump from a business model that seems like it's working. Right. You're selling it, people are using it, they're getting the value out of it, and then jumping over to looking at the car washes and the other components. Well, I'm curious why that leap.
We've just received a lot of outbound interest, actually. So, like, Quick Black Car Wash is a chain that has about 40 locations. It's growing really quickly, and so they actually reached out to us because they heard about us through the grapevine. So that's kind of what got us started on car washes. Collision centers often are part of dealership groups, and so that's kind of how we got into collision centers. So it's fairly organic and a lot of inbound interest.
Yeah, and our product is like copy and paste, so
Yeah.
it's not that hard to go from dealerships to car washes. So if they want it, cool, it's custom.
And have you had any testimonials so far from people who actually used your
So didn't have time to get to it, but our first customer we installed back in November used to pay $2,000 to $3,000 a month in these claims. He hasn't paid out on a single claim since we got put in November.
But he's actually used the video?
Yes, yeah, you use that a lot, yeah.
Can you walk me through, when you go to these dealerships, you know, the person who really likes the idea of your solution versus the person that has the budget to pay you versus the person that makes a decision, because car dealerships are franchise or everything else. Explain to me how that process is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how that happens is our service manager is usually the cheerleader for the idea, because their whole job is to make that their department as profitable as possible. And so we get them sold, and then usually they go to the GM, and the GM pulls out the numbers, and if they're spending, let's say, $3,000, $2,000 a month, then our solution is only $400 to $600 a month. If the math lines up, which usually it does, if they're doing the volume, it's a no-brainer, because we're gonna save them a lot of money.
So usually the service manager is the user, the GM is the decision maker, and then if you're in a big corporate group like Larry, Chiller, and Handgar, where they have lots of dealerships, we also have to go through the corporate group as well.
Okay, so I think volume here is the key word I keep hearing time and time again. Do you have a sub-segment of dealerships that you've been able to target as far as certain volume? Are you able to
Yes.
narrow it?
So usually when we call a dealership for the first time as a cold call, one of the first questions we ask is what average daily volume are they doing? If they're doing less than 30 to 40 cars, typically they're not doing enough damage claims for our system they'll basically cancel each other out, which isn't a very good value proposition. So if they're doing anything more than that, that kind of magic number is 50 to 60 cars or more per day, that's when it makes a lot of sense. So that's kind of how we have been able to weave our way through customers.
All right, thank you.